But what is really happening, the body is carrying all the stress, all the memory, all the tensions, all the unresolved emotion in yourself. But if you're not aware, then you don't know how to take care of them. And that's the mistake. You have to embracing what is true inside you without label good and bad. And that's one of the secrets to open the doorway for compassion, for love, for deep forgiveness. When healing from trauma, it's not like you get rid of the trauma. It's about making peace with yourself.
I was telling you how I experienced total hell and true visions of being murderous and suicidal simultaneously. Like I was a menace and a danger to myself and other people. It was very harsh, something I never want to feel again. But you corrected my language pattern and you told me, because I kept on saying my hallucination is
just being together, sharing the space, sharing the experience. That is more than the honeymoon. More than honeymoon. So if that survives us, the experience, not only repairing could be, broken marriage, but deeper connection in a way you cannot put into words. Otherwise, beyond everyday life. And that is a tremendous gift.
Welcome to Capability Amplifier. I'm Mike Koenigs. This is my friend Mingtong Gu. Say hi. And you're wondering, what is this all about? Well, if you feel trapped in your business and what you want is freedom, we all do. Your company's built, the exits are done, the money's in the bank, or more likely, you'd love to have that, but you might be feeling completely stuck in a cycle, feeling more pressure, more emptiness, and disconnection. Now, I've been there. I had cancer throughout my business journey, suffered from anxiety on levels I'd never talked about before, and always feeling stuck in some kind of transition that left me wondering what my next act would be. Now, my guest today knows the feeling of being trapped better than anyone because Mingtong Gu grew up in China during the Cultural Revolution and discovered Qi Gong as a path to healing, and then went on to become one of the world's leading masters of what he calls embodied awakening. You'll learn what that means in a moment. Now, he's helped tens of thousands, including high performers, CEOs, and people facing incurable diagnoses and diseases, helping them shift from survival mode into thriving and freedom. And what makes Mingtong's work so powerful is not about meditation apps or quick fixes. It's about upgrading the hidden operating system inside your body and mind that determines how you lead, how you make decisions, when people's livelihoods are at stake and millions are on the line, and how you show up for your family, your team, and your freedom. So this episode is about turning your deepest challenges into transformational fuel. And you'll want to lean in all the way for this conversation with Mingtong. He's the founder of the Qi Center in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So thank you for being here, my friend. It's been so much fun spending the day with you.
Oh my God, that's way beyond Mike.
And for anyone who doesn't know our history, the short version is I met you in Santa Fe at your center because I actually rented the center with some friends, and we had one of the most remarkable times of our lives.
Incredible, magical time, truly.
Totally. So I think the way to begin this conversation today is, first of all, you've been practicing Qigong for 30 years, over 30 years. You've witnessed tens of thousands of people transform both online and in person. So what's the biggest mistake that you've seen people make over and over, either when they try taking up the practice or they don't even know what it is? So we'll have to go back to the what it is in a moment for those who don't know what Qigong is. Let's start there and then go to what's the biggest mistake?
Yeah. So many. How much time do we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest mistake is not necessarily a mistake. It's more like a shock when they suddenly feel like something goes wrong, whether it's a diagnosis of chronic disease, incurable disease, suddenly, marriage falling apart, suddenly lose a sense of purpose, as if like something surprised them. But the deeper cause of the surprise is that really nothing happens overnight.
Mhm.
Yeah, nothing happens overnight. So everything is the result, a cumulative result of our history,
Yep.
our past. And as everybody recognizing, oh my God, we have stress. But where the stress goes, you may feel it mentally, occasionally feel emotionally.
Mhm.
We suppress it. But what is really happening, the body is carrying all the stress, all the memory, all the tensions, all the unresolved emotion in yourself. But if you're not aware, then you don't know how to take care of them. And that's the mistake. That's unawareness of it. And you push it slow life, especially for us, ambitious.
Yeah.
You have wonderful goal, bigger goal, another big goal, another big goal. So you push it slow, rushing everything, accumulatively trying to reach the goal. Yeah. What's the next dream? What is next freedom? So on. But then the body is like drag around every day. Yeah.
Yep.
And you do exercise trying to overpowering that. You do whatever mental exercise trying to, overriding whatever the body is feeling. So it's not knowing what's going on in your body, the truth of your body, so to speak.
Yeah.
That is the biggest mistake.
Okay.
And came from that is also relating is that not only ignorance of your body, but you're not really having intention of connecting with your body. Like you don't know what's going on in your body. That's
So it's
blind
basically
spot.
unawareness,
Yeah.
cumulative unawareness over a long period of time, not being able to listen to or hear these things. So that leads us to what is Qi Gong and how does it enable us to experience these things and become aware of them? Because I was introduced to Qi Gong more than 30 years ago, which is longer than a lot of Westerners for sure. I worked for a company, they were a client, and we marketed and promoted Qi Gong when it was a brand new idea, and I started practicing it. And I noticed there are two things that made a huge difference in my life. One of them was Qi Gong at the time. The other one was going to Tony Robbins events. So it was very much East
Great
and West.
combination. Yes.
But for those who don't know what Qigong is, what exactly is it and why is it such a powerful tool?
Yeah. So first of all, Qigong allow you to connect, empower you, to connect with this body and discovering what is this body. And beyond our assumption, thinking about this body, use a knowledge like a machine, rental vehicles, empty house, temporarily, a problem to solve, whatever, all these metaphor. But these are a mistake, basically. Our relationship with this body is true mistake. So what do you do? Slow Qigong is really asking the deeper question. Slow experience, what is this body? Then you're realizing this body is beyond everything you know. Not your story, not is your diagnosis, not is from the medical book. It's a deeper experience as human being. So first of all, you're recognizing without this body, you do not exist. Without this body, I do not exist as human being.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. I'd like to invite everybody, feel this truth right now, this moment. Without this body, I do not exist as a human being. That is the truth of existence, the truth of our own presence. And secondly, without this body, I cannot experience life as human. I cannot experience life as human. The experiential truth. And it can go further. Without this body, my soul cannot evolve in this lifetime. Whatever you want to accomplish, you're accomplishing with this body.
Yes.
So the deeper question now is, what is this body? Who am I as human being? What is life? And this the mystery for us to discover. Then that is a different journey than going out, finding a solution. So as we searching everything as human being, most important thing is common. We're searching for love, searching for joy, searching for connection, searching for creativity, fulfillment. And often we're searching outside of us. Yeah. With someone else, with something else, which is okay. That's life. But we're forgetting what's inside of us. The source of happiness, the source of joy, the source of creativity. It's already inside of you, not as a concept. Right here, in this body, within your skin, around you. So we call the energy body. Visible, invisible. Yeah, beyond just physical skin boundary. So you're discovering this energy as power, energy as a source of healing, source of vitality, source of creativity, even source of joy, source of human experience. And that is the journey. That is the discovery. That's the realization.
Okay. So that lends me to, for someone who might, not know or have heard of Qigong before, first of all, it's not a religion or a belief system. It is not like yoga. There are movements. It's not exactly meditation either. So what is it that makes Qigong unique or different or special? And also just resolve this question about, well, sounds like a religion to me for someone who's just like hasn't been exposed to it. Because when I got exposed to Qigong, I learned it by going to an event. I met a Qigong master, and then I listened to cassette tapes, and I just worked with them. And it was a combination of breathing and exercise and movement. But I started noticing, my awareness, my consciousness, I had people suddenly going like, "What are you doing? You feel so different."
Yeah. Yeah.
So something profound started to happen, and there wasn't any one thing that pointed to it. So other than people noticed it when I started practicing it. So what do you say to the person who's confused, just so we get past that? Because again, I'm just looking at, yeah, what's the point of resistance here?
Right.
How is it different from yoga, meditation, and everything?
Yeah, I think you have all these good questions there, common questions. Well, first of all, Qigong is experiential, so you can feel right away. Even as you said, people, your friends, your coworkers, you can feel the difference. Whether you feel more calm, more present, more joyful, more relaxed, more open, more available for other people. But deeply is about this internal connection, internal connection. So I'm speaking of energy, connecting with energy. So this practice you do is basically like simple. Everybody can do it, basically. It's a movement, but it's very gentle movement. It's a meditative movement. And you can also do the sound using your own voice, like you don't have to use a crystal ball, or music instrument. And you're making the sound as we speak right now. The way we're talking, we're activating a lot of energy. So when I'm connecting with my body, I feel the energy is moving, vibrating. And we go deeper into the five organ, for example, connecting with the energy of the five organ, associating with the emotion. Then the vibration, the sound, the vibration, activating the energy. So deeply is all about awakening the energy, opening the energy, allow the energy to flow again. And so when the energy is flowing through the entire body, you feel health, you feel vitality. And at the same time, when the energy of your five organ, particularly the energy of your heart, awakening, opening, flowing, then you naturally feel joy. It's called, feel happiness for no reason. You tap into the source of happiness and that energy of your heart, and you're experiencing similarly love come out of that natural feeling. So it's like does not depends on the circumstances, the reason, or history, or worry about past. So this energy you're experiencing become the foundation of the experience. Then you go deeper further. Meditation is very different. In this case, meditation is about connecting the body. So basically, your mind body is like creating a different relationship. Often our mind doing our own thing, right? Whatever busy thing, stressful thing, exciting thing, creative thing, problem solving thing, right? It's busy, it's stressful, but can be exciting too, right? But then the body is kind of leave behind. Yeah, trying to catch up.
Yep.
So in this case, it's opposite. It's like you slow down your mind. For example, when you do slow movement, pay attention. Your mind slow down. Feel your body movement. Feel the sensation experience inside the body. Then you discover the energy. So deeply about mind-body connection coming together instead of mind over the body over the mind. So this collaboration can happen. Ultimately, it's a union. It's kind of a mystical experience.
Yeah.
Basically, I call this as a modern mystic.
Yep. Very good. All right. So that leads me then to I got to ask you a little backstory because you grew up in China during the Cultural Revolution. It turns out that when you were sponsored, you actually spent time here in San Diego where we're shooting today. But how just talk briefly about your conditioning in China, how you got exposed to Qi Gong, and then when you really connected with the spiritual center that Qigong enabled you to do, and then you started bringing that to the States. What was that experience like? I know that was a jumbled up question, but I'm just curious about the background, the belief system, how that you brought this merger at really a perfect time to the US as well, where a lot more people are interested and aware of this.
Yeah, yeah. I think we reflecting our life, our history, noticing one thing leads to another. It's more like, oh, almost like a renewal. But the deeply is what we're seeking, yeah, is leading to, yeah, what is the next step of our life. So often is the pain, the trauma, the discomfort, the lack of fulfillment. In this case, I grew up as a boy, adopted many times, get lost and in sense of rejected and exile in terms of leaving home, then leaving the country, but not necessarily anyone forced me, but that's how life happened. So a sense of like lost,
Yep.
sense of homeless.
And you had some health issues
Yeah,
of your own as
yeah.
well.
So the health issue, including sclerosis and asthma condition, is really uncomfortable being in the body. So this kind of disconnection that's the way I grew up. And then also be mental, study mathematics. Yeah, eventually get into the heart a little bit when I switched to fine art, become a artist. And that's where I start open more, naturally leading to discovery of Qigong. So one thing leads to another. And actually, I discovered Qigong in the U.S., Columbus, Ohio, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's a great place to
Yeah, actually, I never heard of Qigong. Truth is, so slow a kind of friend, then discovered that study with her teacher in the U.S. But I was an artist. I was helping producing video. And I get really inspired. Then I went to the center in China called the Medicine's Qigong Hospital to study with my teacher, Grandmaster Peng Ming. And he's also a medicine doctor, both in Western and
he's an
Chinese
MD
medicine.
and-
MD
Okay, wow.
as
Yeah.
profession. So he started to offer Qigong to the people who have all kind of health issue, diagnosis issues, cannot be resolved by Western medicine. Then eventually he realizing even traditional Chinese medicine cannot help effectively. So he started to experimenting with Qigong, getting the amazing result. So he ended up opening a medicine Qigong hospital. So at the time when I was there were 3,000, 5,000 practitioners and stay there for 1 month long retreat. And just Qigong without any medication, without any dietary prescription. And the beauty of Qigong is that it's not based on diagnosis. When you're recognizing energy is a source of life, when you recognize these simple practice, so accessible, meditative, easy, personal, and anyone can do it by awakening the energy, opening energy, you're naturally improving whatever condition you have. So you kind of letting go of the diagnosis, tap into the source of life, source of healing. So in a sense, you're letting go of this, the common feeling right now, we're the victim of something. We're victim of history, victim of the society, victim of everyday life, so to speak. And here, you're letting go of that story. You tap into the power you're born with inside of you. That's the truth. Yeah. When you're connecting with your body, you discover another dimension of truth beyond the mental story, beyond the mental diagnosis, beyond the mental stress. Then you discover the power inside of you. Then everything becomes possible beyond just theory, beyond just belief. So it's a self-discovery, continuous self-discovery process. So at the time when I was in the medicine Qi Gong hospital, it's like every day people come to me, show me medical result. I heal from, this condition, all these incurable condition, and the result before, after. And in the beginning, I was like, is that true? Because I was living in the West for about 10 years already, quite rational in my education as well. So I have a sense of skepticism, doubt. Then after a while, it's like, these are real people, real story, real data.
So you were looking at people who had incurable diseases, practiced Qi Gong, and soon you were seeing evidence that it had reversed.
Yeah.
So what were some of the specifics? I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm going to ask a couple specifics here.
So with my teacher did one statistics. Out of 2,000 cases, all kind of disease, all these chronic or incurable condition, basically, it's not like a cured simple thing, not like cold, anything like that. So among all these conditions, you're required to have a medical test beforehand, before the 1 month long retreat. Then afterwards, the same kind of test according to Western medicine. Then compare the result. If there's change, measurable change, then that's effective. Then if there's no symptom, no sign of disease anymore according to the established test, then totally recover. So from that result, 98% people see measurable result. And that is inconceivable according to the Western medical, perceptions. And then about 20 to 30% total recovery rate.
Wow.
Just within months. We're talking about incurable condition.
And that leads us to, there's two paths I want to take us down right now. One of them is about being stuck in old patterns, right? So in health, business relationships, and the relationship with the body and energy. But I'm going to make this hyper personal because today you and I had lunch, and you and I were talking about. I'll tell you my version of the story. I was telling a story about how I cannot ever touch THC. I have a very harsh reaction, and there was one time I did it on purpose. One other time I basically I've had 2 accidental tastes, and it was because someone gave me a gummy that they said was CBD to sleep. It turned out it had THC in it, and I wound up in the ER because I had a very severe mental breakdown. And the backstory behind that was, it was the day before I was speaking at Tony Robbins' house, and this attack happened after I took this thing to sleep because I wanted to get a good night's sleep. And someone said, "Oh yeah, this stuff works crazy." I had this breakdown. I ended up going to the hospital, to the ER. I spent 2 hours there. They ended up just giving me a lorazepam, basically a benzo. 2 hours later, I'm on a flight going to Tony's house. The only bad thing I didn't do is I didn't tell the story about what had happened hours before. It would have been kind of funny. But the point of this was, I was telling you how I experienced total hell, and I had true visions of being murderous and suicidal simultaneously. Like I was a menace and a danger to myself and other people. It was very harsh, something I never want to feel again. But you corrected my language pattern, and you told me, because I kept on saying my hallucination is. So I want you to tell me a little bit about my belief system, what you've observed, and relate that to what you see in so many people you work with who have old
Yeah.
patterns of language, old beliefs, and those are in fact the causes, or at least they may. I don't know. You tell me. Like, how does that show up as a disease, a mental disease, a physical disease? What's the relationship between the story I just told you, bring and observe? I know that was a lot, but
That's a deep question, obviously. But the simple answer is this powerful label we have: good, bad, good, bad. So noticing you're the one creating this label, you have all the reason to justify this is good, this is bad.
Yeah.
Then same kind of process could be plant medicine, could be a moment in your nature, whatever, could be whenever, especially when you're alone by yourself, and you start experiencing part of you labeled as positive, negative, but you say good and bad. That's the differentiation creating this conflict inside of you. So what are we trying to really discover, or looking at the experience with a new perception beyond good and bad? God doesn't look at life as good and bad. And your body has capacity experience life beyond good and bad. So recognizing whatever you're experiencing, there's two things happening. One is whatever happened in the past, the body carries everything, both positive and negative. On the other hand, your experience of this moment is based on your perception. This perception determine, I'm simplifying it, generalizing it, but in a sense, by this label, good and bad. And that's become the battle, become the enemy, become the continued struggle, so to speak. And that tension existing most time unconscious. It's happening in the body, in a cellular level, in your subconsciousness. And that is creating a tension in your life without knowing it. So change the perception is one of the key. But in order to change the perception, you have to embracing what is true inside of you without label good and bad. And that's one of the secrets to open the doorway for compassion, for love, for deep forgiveness, deep resolution of trauma, for example. It's like when healing from trauma, it's not like you get rid of the trauma. It's about making peace with yourself. And that part of you, especially, is affected. In another knowledge, is like the trauma is causing a disconnection, causing a separation as part of you buried inside of you, which is energy, is part of who you are. Before you label it as bad. But that's his life force. So in Qigong, it's like we recognizing everything is energy. So before you give the label, good and bad, energy is energy. Energy has three qualities. One is power. Second is movement. The third is creativity. And the next is connection. Connection. Yeah. So when you're working with the energy this way, then you releasing the story, which is programming your experience, so to speak. But you have a direct experience more than the story itself. And then you discover, what is possible for yourself. And that is the same energy of the universe, the same energy of creation, same energy of Mother Earth is supplying to our life, basically. Yeah. Everything we're experiencing come from the union of heaven and earth. And yet, the union of heaven and earth is inside of you, inside of me, inside of us already. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is clearing patterns or traumas that go back generations. And some of what you were just talking about were labels and language patterns, okay? But and again, I'm going to lay a complex question on you because you're so good at decoding this and finding the truth and coming up with a simple solution. So, as an example, Vivian, her mother and father were Holocaust survivors. They came here. They were narrowly escaped with their lives from Nazi-occupied Yugoslavia. They escaped to Italy and then came to the United States. And there's no question that there's scientific proof showing that trauma gets embedded in our DNA, multi-generational. So there's like a physical proof of this. And I've even witnessed it in Vivian for years, just her just terror reactions from certain things and just other traumatic responses that go back to her childhood and beyond. And I've known other people with PTSD. So we'll call it this generation, multi-generational. And then what we live in right now is very much a society filled with little traumas from technology and banishment and overuse of electronics that we've witnessed, like the lockdown, for example, caused enormous trauma in a whole generation of young people. So all of this encoding is happening all the time. And talk about Qi Gong's ability to release multi-generational trauma and then recent trauma. Like, what's the science behind that? And give us an example of some of the tools that are available to get rid of this or witness it, observe it, and let it go if it's possible.
Right. This is another powerful question. First of all, recognizing as human being grown up, even, previous generation or ancestors, now or next generation, as existence as human being, trauma is inevitable. Trauma is inevitable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think everybody know what I mean,
Yep.
right?
Anyone
So-
who's had children,
Right,
knows
exactly.
no matter what you do,
Exactly.
you're gonna need a therapist.
But maybe you don't. But it's like recognizing, trauma is part of life. But recognizing the severe trauma as a result of severe trauma, as I mentioned, is part of you in the shock. Then it's creating a contraction. So when you're looking at the energy, there's two pattern. One is the energy contract. Another is energy open. Two pattern. And if you're contracted, and of course, when the energy is contracted, then the function of energy, including your health, emotional well-being, your mental function, even your spiritual connection, fulfillment, is compromised. Yeah. And when the same energy opens up, then life come back. So when you contract only for a few minutes, it's fine. If you look at the children, if they're upset with something, I see my kids when they're young, they're fighting each other, right? Upset with each other, like become worst enemy. But few seconds later, the best friend again. So there's no issue. The energy is still flowing. Contract, boom, open. Contract, boom, open, right? But as grown up, we stuck. So there's two things. One is when trauma happens, unconsciously, this energy contract, but not temporarily, stuck for the rest of life. We're unconscious of it. We don't know what to do with it. We bury that pattern like in the closet, eventually go to the basement. It's like part of us missing. We feel lack. We feel incomplete, unworthy. We feel certain level cannot function in relationship or even in job. Yeah. So that's part of us is missing, basically. Yeah. Then another level is when we have these stress or mini, whatever trauma to a certain degree. As grown up, we consciously reasoning, suppressing the emotion, suppressing that feeling. So that means the feeling is energy. When you suppress it long enough, that energy is stuck. So often now psychology, we're speaking of unprocessed emotion. So when you're speaking about it, somehow the energy released. But often you don't know what happened. So that means the energy is stuck. That means even generational stuck energy pattern, continuous slow genetic imprints in the system. So no matter whether it's happened, ancestral many generation before us, or happening right now, or happening in childhood, or happening globally in like pandemic, recognizing this stuck energy pattern in the body. So it doesn't matter whether it's what is the story, what is circumstance which is beyond our control. But what you can do is become more aware of the tension in the body. So for example, people feel surprised when diagnosed with whatever, stroke, Parkinson, or any other condition, often trauma related. But only because they're not dealt with before. Then suddenly the body say, I cannot handle this anymore. Like too much, it's basically almost like giving up, basically. Yeah. So the idea is not analyzing it, not wishing it's not there. You simply accessing your own body. Often I say, when you claim this is your own body, the implication of that is you have access to your own body more than anyone else. The sensation, the feeling. So when you're noticing, okay, my life is stressed, I feel stuck, feel unhappy. Here is very important different process. Oh, you go into your body, feeling the deeper stress. The truth. Oh, my shoulder is frozen. Oh, my low back is painful. Oh, my hip is not moving. Oh, my hands feel numb. Whatever. You simply dismiss it. Oh, lack of blood flow. No, much more than that. It's some part of you is stuck. The energy is not moving, not connecting, not functioning holistically speaking. So when you're noticing that, then this practice come in. The movement opening the energy, the sound vibrating, accessing the deeper emotional energy associated with 5 organ system. And simple meditation. You can imagine visualizing the ocean of energy beneath you, above you, all around you, deep inside of you. Even when you're holding the arm this way, when the mind visualizing the energy, suddenly your arm is shoulder able to relax and soft. You start to have deep experience of vibration of your body. And so different perception arise, different relationship arise, then the opening just naturally happen. So more you're aware, embracing the contraction, through the practice, more you can open. So it's like more you feeling the pain, more the pain can heal. But you slow the movement, you're accelerating the process.
Got it.
Yeah.
I think what I recall from my experiences, and I'm going to just reinterpret what you just said, which is what, and I read this from a Western point of view. Louise Hay wrote this book called You Can Heal Your Life, and it really had to do with the relationship between disease and emotions, stuck energy, basically. And ultimately, now whether it's conscious or unconscious, again, this is that good bad mindset that I live in, but I'm labeling things, but that whether it's something we're born with, trauma related, or something that was inflicted upon us, or something that we've done unconsciously, repetitively, that can be a cause. That emotional buildup turns into energy, which can manifest as disease when our body decides to give up. And what Qi Gong enables you to do is become aware of the body, the emotions, the relationship between the energy, and through emotion, it gives us this ability to release and let go of stuff that's trapped us. Could be generationally, it could be from last week, but the practice is what keeps the energy moving. So I know that's an oversimplification of what you just said, but that's my interpretation.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful. You got the essence of it. So it's really everyday practice. Everyday self-aware, self-care, self-empower, discovery.
Mm-hmm.
But the gift is way beyond just health. The gift is way beyond just managing everyday stress, including release of trauma. The gift is you're awakening to this capacity, able to function with a new alignment. That means the physical, emotional, the mental, spiritual is working together in alignment instead of fragmented, separated, or even in conflict. Sometimes our mind want to do this, accomplish this, go somewhere else. The body cannot do it, cannot follow with it. Then eventually you give up. So here is like allowing this collaboration, mind, body, collaboration as a result is a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual alignment, connection, nourishment, and deeper fulfillment. This deeper fulfillment is like beyond mental excitement, beyond, physically feel high. It's like a sense of, life is good.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm present. I'm ready for the adventure. But also, you're honoring your limitation, especially when we're aging. Yeah. So one of the, I think, really deep cause our mistake, beyond just trauma, is this overdrive, not honoring the life cycle, honoring the natural intelligence of this body. And that is another mistake, especially in common in entrepreneur, ambitious people like us.
Yes.
We have a personal experience, my story, like, creating a business from scratch, scratch, I have nothing. And from zero resources, zero money, now creating a business with a big team, a retreat center, wearing, many hats. And like we all know, it's hard work.
Yeah.
So I cannot imagine I can do what I do without Qigong. That's a simple truth. Yeah. Including like teaching whole month's retreat by myself on the stage, 8-10 hours a day, nonstop for 1 month.
Yeah. You're the Qigong version of Tony Robbins. Yeah.
I don't know if Tony Robbins can do that whole month.
Yeah, he goes for a week at a time, which
Right.
I want to lead into that because, Qigong is something that you can learn the basics in minutes. You can practice it daily in minutes and start seeing results quickly. And there's huge benefits. But one of the things that you've been doing now for decades is working remotely. You've got weekly trainings you do, but you also do immersive week-long and month-long experiences at your center in Santa Fe, which I've been to. And I'm going to paint the picture here because you've got a beautiful complex. It is on remarkable native grounds that still there's ancient art that are thousands of years old on the rocks there. Amazing trees, the seasons of Santa Fe, which is really remarkable, and the colors. That's one of the reasons I chose that background for you. It really is like that. It's sunshine and much more than desert. But you take people on a journey of self-discovery and release and forgiveness. And someone who could have been, one of your case studies is about the executive making tens of millions of dollars. He couldn't feel his children's hugs until he came. People who are stuck in transition, death, divorce. Sometimes it'd be something as positive as sold their company and lost their purpose, to empty nester feeling just this heart emptiness, to some people who've been diagnosed and have literally been given their death sentence. Okay, they come out and experience remarkable transformations, and they may show up for a week and stay for a month or more. But talk about what the experience is like and what happens.
Yeah. It's hard to put into words. It's like rediscovery of what they have been truly longing for in their life, and yet too busy to feel them, connecting them. That's when, discovery. And secondly, the deeper self connection, discovery, self nourishment. But it happens, it's like in a very gentle, loving, accessible way. It's like, okay, I'm here, take a vacation from, just picture that. It's a vacation, a true vacation from busy mind, stressful thoughts, problem solving, moment to moment every day.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, the same attention you're giving to yourself, to your own brain, to your own heart, to your own five organ, to your own body, discovering the energetic connection with yourself. Then the energetic connection with the Mother Earth, the nature, the power of nature, and the energetic connection with each other. A sense of community, so important, so important. But this community sense is way beyond just networking, way beyond the support group. It's like deeper recognition of who we are by mirroring each other. Wow, we share the pain, well, we share the challenges, but we also share the energy, the power, the natural intelligence, the compassion. So in that space, miracles start happen. People can suddenly get up from wheelchair, and people suddenly feel, like, as you said, open your heart, able to allow love, allow joy. But deeply, it's about like deep sense of connection. Connection. It's beyond functionality. There's in life, we so much focus on functionality, make life functional, which is required. It's important part of it. But we're so busy make life functional, we don't have time, space, or capacity to enjoy life, experience life, connecting what is essential. And so come out of that, basically it's more like a coming home experience. Coming home to your own body, coming home to yourself, coming home to nature, coming home to community, and coming home to life. So you're increasing this connection, this baseline. So when you go home, everything changes. Your perception changed, but the deeper connection with life, the deeper experiential joy without depending on a story or circumstance, and that become a new, let's say, new baseline for your life. Yeah.
That's very nice. And one thing that, because my first experience at Qi Center was with a group, over 50 of us at a group where we brought it. What I was imagining when I was listening to you is how incredibly valuable it would be to bring your family there, to bring a business group there, or even a team for a business, because you customize this. You can either go solo or bring other people. But I can just imagine, a traumatized family, someone who lost someone very important, being able to go through this experience and how freeing that would be to be able to release that. It's like doing months or years of trauma recovery and therapy, but in a way that's very, very different and unique. And that leads me to my last big question, which is, how does Qigong help repair or awaken a marriage or a close relationship? What have you seen Qigong do for couples?
That's been happening more and more often, kind of naturally happening, and including the retreat, I see more couple show up. Always bring me delight. It's like, yes, this is happening, and I totally know deep transformation will happen. Just imagine the couple able to sit next to each other in this place we gather and practice together day and night for 8-10 hours a day, sitting next to each other, could be for 1 week at a time, even longer. Imagine for 1 month long. What kind of energetic space they're holding each other, interacting with each other, be with each other, not to mentioning the quantity of time. In life, the couple, everyone is so busy. Their own space, their own busyness, rarely to interact. Or if we need to, problem solving, take care of kids, or other business stuff, then you on your own again, right? And here is like you have no obligation, no responsibility, no expectation, but just being together, sharing the space, sharing the experience. That is more than the honeymoon. More than honeymoon. So if that survives us, the experience, not only repairing could be, broken marriage, but deeper connection in a way you cannot put into words. Otherwise, beyond everyday life. And that is a tremendous gift. So when I see the couple show up, like I'm so delighted, so happy for them.
Yeah.
Miracle happens all the time.
And it'll
So
absolutely be a lot less expensive than a divorce.
Totally. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like this issue with saving, we're facing often is like soft issue, quality issue, unless like you have super, urgent life-threatening diagnosis, threatening the quality of life, experience of life, a relationship, and your creativity, and your job, and everything. But these are really the most important problem I call $1 million problems. If you don't resolve them, pile up, then compromising everything you do. Yeah, your creativity compromised, your communication with the team is compromised, your deep feeling about who you are, what do you do in your life, compromised. So that is the internal struggle. We're not aware of it. We're not paying attention. So when we feel in that gap, could be 1 week, could be if you stay longer there, then more recharge, renew, whole discovery can happen. Then you're able to function very differently. I call this baseline. You're increasing the baseline, functioning in another level, including superpower level.
Yeah.
But in order to be superpower, you have to be human first, true human first.
Yeah.
You cannot transcending by passing whatever is going on inside of you, trying to wear a mask of superpower. That doesn't work, doesn't last. So I'm really into, this deep change is shifting from searching for quick fix, shortcut, instantaneous gravitation. And after a while, you feel disappointed or empty, doesn't fulfill, because it does not really sustain your energy, sustain your long-term purpose. So that's where the big shifts start happening. That's where, long time of retreat help you to dig deeper, like this onion. You peel off layers, eventually discover the goal, the treasure of who you are waiting for you. Super exciting.
Yeah. And one thing that when I was listening to you right now, I was thinking about the compound return. So you're either negatively compounding or you're positively compounding. And it doesn't have to be that binary, but it really is. If you're not at your optimum human level, you're not going to be at your optimum superhuman level either. And you have to take care of the human side, your awareness side, your consciousness side. And that's when the benefits compound. But if you're ignoring these things, all these problems in your life are just a symptom of these energetic blockages that Qi Gong makes you aware of as a beautiful byproduct. Okay, so I'm going to do one thing for you right now, which is if you're listening to this, watching this right now, I just want to tell you, if you go to Qi Center, it's CHICENTER.com/freedom. That's where you can learn more about Mingtong and this team's programs. And he's got a variety of different programs that can last either they're purely online, you can get started easily, or spend a week or a month there, or do a custom program with them. And breathtaking Santa Fe, which is a very, very magical place. If you haven't spent time there, especially in his area, it's spectacular. So I'm going to ask you one last question, because one of the things that brought us back together, because we've stayed in touch over the years and we bumped into each other in lots of mutual events. You are a remarkable entrepreneur, and you truly have. I've been able to look behind the scenes, backstage, and what you've put together is awesome. And you're also a huge AI advocate. You're doing a lot with AI. You've been through all of our courses. We spent a lot of time making cool stuff together. And also, Zach, for example, has made some really cool videos about your program in your center. But in the world of AI and technology, this idea of embodied awareness is more important than ever. And why is that? So this conflict or this relationship we all have with technology, especially at its accelerating pace, where does Qi Gong fit into that mix? And what do you see as the threat and the solution?
Yeah. Actually, that is one of the most powerful questions in a way never happened in human history because of AI. AI can do a lot of amazing things for us. But for me, AI forced me to ask in a deeper question, what it meant to be a human? What is my difference than the AI, from the AI? So the deeper realization is, on one hand, as human being, we can experience life, feel life, touch, smell, see everything, feel love, feel joy, feel our tear, feel hate, feel our anxiety, whatever, pain, for example. And that's the true human experience. And AI can assimilate in whatever language, visual, poetry, even video about these experiences, but cannot experience them directly because they don't have a human body. So not a robot. The robot body can be a body, but cannot experience the same as a human body. So from that place, I'm realizing what truly to be human. We cannot truly be human until we discover, connect, experience fully this body beyond any definition, who we are as a presence, as energy, as embodiment of consciousness. So this heaven and earth union inside of you. And so this embodiment, why it's so important? You can think of right now the three world we're living. One is the mental world. For better or worse, we're lost in that world. We're super, let's say, highlighting this mental world. All the success, all the story, all the knowledge, all the information, all the numbers. It's all a mental world, right? We're living in. It's 24/7 unless you sleep, right? So the new world is a digital world. It's an AI world now. It's a digital world, including the computer game, all the simulation, all the problem solving, all the knowledge bases, all the data, and so on. It's there. That is beyond our mental, but existing by itself. Beyond these two, we're forgetting this world is beyond the physical. Yes, including the physical, what you can touch, smell, feel, love, all the experiences slow this human body. And yet, we're not aware of it most of the time. So we're now asking 1,000 people, how many of you, how often you're aware this body exists and how you're feeling inside of you? Maybe one of two hands raise up. Unless you feel pain, unless you feel whatever symptom of disease. And that's like Christ's reaction, fight, flight kind of reaction. It's different than consciously aware, consciously connecting, consciously experiencing life encompassing physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So I'm making this as tangible as possible. There's 3 words you're choosing to live. Which world you're living 24/7. When you dismissing this world, you're dismissing humanity, dismissing yourself as human being. So the result of that is end of humanity. The result of that is this new idea of imprinting our consciousness into a machine without depend on this body anymore, become a robot. And that's the end of humanity, basically. So the same, disconnection from this body is causing all other problems, including disease, including addiction, all kind of addiction, including this idea of quick fix, shortcut, instantaneous gratification, more, and you never get satisfied. And so that is the deeper crisis of humanity, beyond just the environmental crisis. So until we can take care of this, beyond just clothing, feeding, food, and so on, deeply reclaiming our own body, our own power, own presence, we can lose our humanity. That's what I'm feeling. That's the urgency. So all the mental health is not just the mind self. It's this disconnection of the mind from the body. Experienced further addiction, further problem of the mind self. So the cue for that is, again, come back to this body, reclaim your body, coming home to this beyond any definition I can say. When I say, body, you're interpreting as something other than you, you're interpreting as something physical, interpreting something medical. No, much more. That is everything. And this physical is carry the subtle energetic, which is kind of invisible, inside of you as well, around you. And this connection with earth, connection with heaven, connection with the life is energetic. And that is amazing benefit. It's like the most profound benefit I have discovered in Qi Gong is this deep experience of wholeness, experience of oneness, experience of essence. And that's very much to do, the powerful idea, beyond idea, the experience of freedom we're seeking. It's like we talk about this today. Yeah. What that means, freedom, it's almost so elusive, right? And you work so hard trying to gain some freedom, but do you truly experience freedom? When you have more time, for example, free from your busy work, can you still experience freedom? No, not necessary. Yeah, your mind's still busy. Yeah, and maybe your body doesn't feel free at all.
Yep.
So the deeper freedom, especially when we're aging, it's become so much more important. It's like this level of physically feel flexible, free, vital, effective, as well emotionally feel dynamic, feel free, feel like this flow of energy, experiencing life fully. And mentally as well spiritually, you feel open, creative, connected, and purposeful. So all these 3, when connected, then that's the true freedom. Otherwise, it's fragmented freedom. It's just ideal freedom. You cannot really fully experience it. So I call this not true freedom. So one of my desires is very simple. When I'm aging, it's not just like, oh, how can I keep my body flexible, as young as possible? Not only the mind feel open, free, heart feel young, loving, playful, joyful, so on. That's important. But training the body, including the body, collaborating with the body, experiencing the body, the same freedom your mind wants, same freedom your heart longing for. That is a powerful dedication, and it's possible. That's what I'm experiencing. That's what I'm really dedicated to.
Well, Nat, I've witnessed it. I've seen it. I've seen how you operate, and I think that's a perfect place to bring this home, which is, um, for you listening, watching right now, isn't it time you can finally come home? And that's what I just encourage you to look at what the possibilities and the options are. Go to qicenter.com/freedom, learn more about the programs that Mingtong has put together, learn more about him, watch some of the videos, the testimonials. And one of the things that I'll make sure that we share that's really exciting that Mingtong and his team are working on right now is a documentary that explains, describes, and takes you on a journey of what this experience is like. But there's no reason to wait. I'm looking forward to getting back soon. And also, I've always recommended highly, this is one of those breakthrough moments you owe to yourself, you owe it to your family, you owe it to your team to do it for you and to do it with them too. So anything else before we let everyone go here and say goodbye?
And when you say, it's like this idea of freedom is so deep into my heart. So I'm thinking of like the retreat and never, it's like this common experience beyond other benefit, health, vitality, creative energy, connection, self-discovery, and so on. But the sense of freedom you got to experience in the retreat is way beyond any other human experience.
Yeah.
And that is truly a gift. But at the same time, you take that experience of freedom, embodied freedom, back to home. Then you not only see, but experiencing, living from that place of freedom.
Yeah.
It's not just ideal freedom, not just, okay, next month, next year, I have more freedom, have more money, I have more vacation, big house, whatever, And so this internal freedom is the true freedom, is long-lasting freedom.
Yeah.
And everything else become bonus.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And everyone who sees you going through the transformation is going to want it too. That's the other great benefit.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's leave it at that. I want to thank you for being here. It's been a total pleasure. All right.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Sorry, brother. It's so good. So for you watching, listening, thank you so much for spending your time with us today at Capability Amplifier. Again, it's qicenter.com/freedom. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.